A road trip without road snacks is hardly a road trip I want to be on. So today I ask you, what are and what have always been your road snacking favorites? No judgment here, but let's talk about the munchies that help us pass the miles. Beverages too.
Also, Clint's in the market for a more suitable tow vehicle.
Yep, I'd like to take the Intech Discover up to the mountains of Colorado, and my current truck won't do the job.
So we will talk about the specs Clint will need to know to pick a safe and reliable truck for his upcoming trips.
This episode's sponsor is the Campground Gourmet herself, Kate Dunbar. She's a trained chef and she's a camper. Put those two loves together and you have a recipe for great eats at the campsite. She has an ebook titled The Campground Gourmet. She has a website, simply thecampgroundgourmet.com.
What you'll find in her book are tips, tricks, recipes, shopping lists, and meal planning. She updates her website with still more resources, planning guides, recipes, and more. If you're ready to up your campground culinary game, Kate Dunbar, the Campground Gourmet, has your back. Find the Campground Gourmet ebook on Amazon and check out Kate's ever-evolving website, thecampgroundgourmet.com.
Welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people, places, and adventures that go along with them. We are your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm Lindsay.
I'm PJ.
And I am Clint. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Let's jump into this week's episode.
Some of my favorite memories from camping trips are those snacks that we had with us on the road. I loved the magical feeling of the rest stop snack spree. So what are those magical, mystical snacks from your memories? And what are your go-to snacks for your trips today?
Magical, mystical snacks? What kind of snacks are you eating?
Sprees.
I mean, everything from Willy Wonka's factory.
If it doesn't come with a golden ticket, I don't want it.
It needs to turn me into a blueberry.
So, PJ?
Well, when I was a kid, we ate tuna fish out of a can. That was one of the biggies.
Gross.
Yeah. Why do that? It stinks up the whole car.
Yeah, but
right?
Y'all didn't know any better back then. I mean, y'all probably had different smells back then.
You think?
Yeah, like I've seen the movies. Y'all didn't even have color.
I'm pretty sure we had color. The color was blue, okay? That was the color.
So what besides tuna fish out of a can? Because that's
Vienna sausages.
Well, we would have pre-made
sardines.
Yeah, we did.
Gross.
Yeah.
Mom.
Well, you know what? That was the generation. Vienna sausages in a can was cool.
Is that how you got to your stature?
That's right. That's why I grew to a full 5 foot.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And we always pre-made sandwiches, so there was always peanut butter sandwiches. But my mom loved lunch meat. So we always had one little thin slice of lunch meat, some usually bologna for the kids.
Yeah.
Because it was cheap. Mm-hmm. And maybe a little thing of cheese, always mayonnaise, cut in half.
What was your bologna's first name, Oscar? Because that is kind of
triangles or rectangles?
I don't know. I don't remember.
They taste different, you know.
I do. I do know. Well, the triangles are easier to eat because you don't get mayonnaise on the corners of your mouth.
Crust or no crust?
When you have a little bitty mouth, then those things are important.
I promise 100% PJ ate her crust.
Okay.
Absolutely. I ate everything.
Yeah.
And if it was bread and sugar, totally there. Didn't matter what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get anything when we stopped at the gas station. Nothing.
Not even gas?
Never. Well.
Did you get to go to the bathroom?
Sure, we got gas. We had to go to the bathroom. That was a rule. But I mean, buying snacks at the gas station, unheard of in my family. I mean, unheard of.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
know
kind of
that
how you
real
raised your
people did
kids,
that.
too.
Yeah, well,
To
aren't
be
you
fair.
glad?
Yeah, because now I just binge every time I stop at the gas station.
I'll take that
They really
pallet in
are
the back.
magical and mystical snacks.
Just roll a pallet out.
So what do you like now?
So now I like to eat my way from point A to point B. That's what I like.
Okay.
And it can be anything from, if I buy a giant bag of granola, I can't stop eating it. I will munch on it the entire time. I'm not one of those people that says, I'll just eat a little bit and put it away until I'm hungry. I am never hungry, folks. I am never hungry when I'm traveling.
Just always a little peckish.
I am just munching the whole time. And it doesn't really matter
It's just mindless.
what it
It's just
is,
autopilot.
mindless eating. It is entertainment for me.
Yeah.
So I think, trail mix is a go-to. It could be Cheetos. It could be pastries. It could be whatever happens to be there. That's what I'm going to eat. I'm not that picky.
Oh, you're an easy travel companion.
I am.
Just keep feeding her,
Just
folks.
keep feeding me. Yes.
All right.
And stop every hour and 20 minutes for a bathroom break.
There it is. Lindsay.
Well, my poor mother, I don't know if you guys have ever met her, but she
I've
had to
heard
deal
she's a piece of work.
with me getting car sick a lot when we went on road trips. So there was always Sprite in the car. We never got soda when we were kids.
Okay.
It was always water or milk. But soda was for settling your stomach. So if you get sick, you get Sprite. Maybe that's why I was sick so much. Sorry.
'Cause you got Sprite?
I just had an epiphany. So Sprite was always in the car.
I mean, the sugar content in that is pretty
Well,
high.
right. But I guess we just didn't have ginger ale. I don't know. We got Sprite.
Well, you had ginger ale. It was just hard to find. It wasn't like at the convenience
Yeah.
store or anything.
I just know we always sipped on Sprite in the car.
And
that's a thing.
The cool thing about Sprite is that it doesn't stain. A Coke will make a stain. Sprite doesn't stain.
No, it just makes sticky.
And you were going to
just
spill
makes
it.
it- yeah.
That's right. I can clean up sticky, but I didn't want the stain. So Sprite worked for that too. Plus,
Fair.
I don't like Coke or Dr. Pepper or anything. I can tolerate Sprite. So it works for me too.
You just
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't grow up drinking soda either, so soda's not my thing.
But I remember we had pre-made sandwiches and stuff like that. But occasionally we would stop and we got to pick one thing from the gas station. And I remember orange slices. I really liked those, or any kind of gummy candy, chewy. And my dad always had like gum, and that's the only time we got gum too, was during road trips to help with our car sickness.
Is everybody car sick in your family?
All the kids, yeah. Well, and my dad, but he
Well, he's
drove, yeah. So yeah, we're all pretty bad with it. I mean, we used to be like dosed with Dramamine and then just all like passed out. Anyway, this is getting off topic. Sprite, orange slices. But it's funny because now I'm definitely the opposite. I want beef jerky. I want chips. I want pork rinds. I want crunchy,
Savory,
salty. Yes, the stuff that makes a horrible mess in your car.
Yeah.
Crumbs everywhere.
But I won't even drink a Sprite anymore.
Do you drink water?
Yes, I drink water, or occasionally I'll have an energy drink if I have like a long drive, or if I got stuff to do when I get there. But other than that, yeah, I can't drink soda. It's
Yeah.
Look what you've done to me.
Oh, I saved you.
Yeah, you
I
did.
saved you.
You did. You saved me. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny how it went from like when you were a kid, it was all about the candy and the sugar.
Because that's what you didn't get.
Yeah, and
That's
now
what we
it's.
didn't keep candy.
I mean, candy's all right, but no, I'd much rather have something salty.
Okay.
What about you? What did you eat as a kid traveling?
From my memories, it was something that's easy to handhold and pop in your mouth. So it'd be something in the lines of Whoppers. Now, of course, the chocolate
so you
mess
just-
on the fingers.
Whoppers.
No, yeah, I did.
I was like,
Whoppers
what?
burgers,
What?
handfuls of them.
I don't know how you do that.
They're handheld.
Have you not seen my hands?
But chocolate? Why would you have chocolate in the car?
Because
just
it tastes
let-
good anywhere,
let
including
him-
the car.
Let him finish his list. You're going to have a heart attack. Finish your list, Clint.
It gets
Whoppers
worse.
is just the
It
first
is
one.
downhill from here.
Whoppers, Sixlets. You know Sixlets.
Oh, I
No.
remember Sixlets.
yeah.
I don't know what that is.
A different version of
They're like M&Ms, but they're round. They're
perfectly
BBs.
round BBs, and is a different type of chocolate.
Way better chocolate.
Way better. So Sixlets, Reese's Pieces, because that's how you get ET to follow you.
That's important.
Yep. And for if we're on the road, I could usually get my parents to let me have maybe a Big Red or a blue cream soda or just a regular cream soda.
The most stain-worthy things ever.
Or an Orange Crush.
Also very stain-worthy.
Or anything Fanta.
My mother would turn us around and march us back to the gas station if we tried to bring anything blue into a car.
Well, I always would get the blue cream soda and tell people I was drinking washer fluid or something like that.
Always the jokester, are you?
Yeah. And I wasn't prone to spilling stuff.
Yeah, I can see you as being a way more responsible kid than me.
I wanted every drop of that mess.
Yeah, actually, that
was
makes sense.
That was totally not the case in our car. Everything spilled.
I guess
everything spilled.
Honey roasted peanuts. Well, your girls are always, your girls are together, they're always having a great time in a party. So I can imagine there's just so much a flurry of activity. Me,
just flying cream soda.
My sister was reading a book or passed out, and then there was just me.
Eating chocolate and cream soda.
That's right. Look how big I got.
That would make anybody car sick. I would be. Oh,
really?
How do you even do that?
I mean, I'm pretty sick just thinking about it.
Straight
Me
up,
too.
I have never been car sick. Not once.
Never?
I don't know what car sick is.
Are you like one of those people that say, I never had a headache?
No, I've had headaches.
What about like seasick or like motion sickness? Because that's basic. That's all it is.
You don't get
You've
that.
never had motion sickness?
No.
Stop.
No.
That's not a thing. Never?
We need
Not
to take
that
him
I
out
can-
on a
it seems like I'd be able to
really
remember.
little boat.
But Sam just spun you around in that chair like 50 times.
That's dizzy. That's not. But
it didn't make your
nauseous.
stomach hurt?
Heck no. Made me dizzy.
What?
No.
Yeah, okay. Challenge on. The gauntlet is laid.
Well, remember, my stomach is way different than it used to be. It's been engineered.
So now he has an excuse. Okay.
Well, you can try it. I still haven't experienced it, but I don't know what it's like to get nauseous from motion.
Okay, well, so what do you eat
horrible.
now? It is horrible.
And it doesn't go away once you get out of the car.
You never got better?
No, I mean, like the rest of your day, you feel like
Ruined
that
her
even
for
after
life.
you get out of the car. That's why it's so terrible. Oh my God.
Nope.
Okay, sorry. We need to get back.
Okay.
I am floored.
Well, these days when I'm traveling, I like to have coffee with me. Sometimes it's the sugary coffee, but usually it's just coffee with half and half. Usually it's a full, big Yeti full, and I'll just sip on that the whole way. And maybe if we make a stop, I'll get a fountain drink of Dr. Pepper or something like that.
You know, if I'm flying somewhere, I used to think that maybe I just didn't agree with travel because my stomach would always be upset
Did
when I
you
traveled.
argue with travel? Travel?
No,
You're
but
wrong.
when I would fly places, well, I figured out I like to have a cup of coffee on the plane, in the airport, on the way to the airport.
Yeah, it's like
I was
having a
drinking
friend.
like 7 cups of coffee on the way from here to there.
Why do I feel so terrible?
And then I figured out why I felt so terrible all the time. Because that's my thing. I have to have a coffee in my hand, but when I'm traveling, I actually drink all of it and don't lose it.
You're like the real life Lorelai Gilmore.
It is like sad. So, but I don't do that when I'm driving. It's
PJ,
so
when did you
weird.
start drinking coffee?
When I bought Princess Craft.
Are you serious?
You didn't drink coffee before that?
Occasionally, I would have coffee. We didn't make coffee in the morning at home. None of that.
Yeah, I don't remember
No.
coffee.
We didn't have coffee all day. It was just not a thing.
Well, you're
I
quite
could
a
drink
partaker
coffee.
of the coffee, of the bean nowadays.
But when I had to just keep it full speed ahead, 12 hours a day, little kids at home, Princess Craft, I learned about coffee.
Very well behaved little kids at home.
Perfect little kids.
Who never get nauseous just at the thought of turning around.
All they ever did was throw up, right? They just throw up.
Just like a cat or a dog who has a food sensitivity.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
All right. Well, and
It's funny.
Those are the things I may have on hand. Sometimes I'll have something like an iced tea or peanut M&Ms or trail mix or something like that.
Yeah. No, I just.
So, anyone hungry, or should we just move on?
I think it did not make me hungry talking about
I'm
all
a
this.
little nauseous.
Lindsay's
spin
a little
me
car sick.
around.
Saying the word car makes me feel sick.
Why don't we move on and talk about tow vehicles?
Okay, sure.
So
Sure.
Clint needs to get a more capable tow vehicle for the types of trips he's dreaming up for his family.
That's right.
So right here at the beginning, can we just make fun of the truck that he has?
You know what? It's been a good truck to me, but it's go for it.
Okay. So what truck do you have?
I have, everyone brace yourself. It's a half ton, but it's just barely. It's a 2013 Ram 1500 SLT. Now that would make you think, hey, that's a full-size half-ton pickup.
Yeah.
But it has, under the hood, the Pentastar 6-cylinder naturally aspirated engine.
What does that mean?
What the hell does that mean?
It's a smallish engine for a half-ton pickup, and naturally aspirated just means that it doesn't have a turbocharger or supercharger. It's just breathing whatever air comes in, through the intake. So
what is your tow capacity on this truck?
Oh, this is pathetic. Okay. So the Ram website says that engine puts out 305 horsepower and 269 foot-pounds of torque, but which would have been great 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That would have been like, a reasonable 8-cylinder truck kind of output. But in these days, it's not really up there. So with the regular cab, that engine paired with 2-wheel drive truck, that engine could tow up to 6,500 pounds. But my truck is a Super Crew, so it's long. It has a lot of space in the back seat, so I could fit my kids' car seats. And it also has, the gear ratio is tiny. It's one of those city pavement runners.
So why does that matter?
Because that lowers my towing capacity down to only 4,109 pounds.
Shut up. You have a half-ton truck that only tows 4,000 pounds?
Yeah.
What?
And you've seen what I've towed with it.
I had no idea.
Yeah. This is
I didn't even know there was a truck that would tow less than like
7,000.
Yeah.
And those are the midsize, not even a full size.
Yeah, your truck is like not tiny.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Clint.
I mean,
you need a new truck.
You're right. Right.
I think that's the same tow capacity as my Kia Soul.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, kidding. But.
So really, with 4,100 towing capacity, you ought to be hauling something that maybe is 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, that should be
maybe a hair over.
Yeah, that'd be comfortable.
So what are you towing?
All right, so the Intech Discover I'm towing right now, its dry weight is, mine is fully decked out, so it's 2,750 pounds.
Well, that seems
options.
Like it ought to work.
It seems like, but the shape of it is a big box that is much larger than my truck, so it's pulling a sail behind me. And the tongue weight on that thing, because it is very tongue forward, the axle's a little bit further back. It makes it tow really nice, but if my towing capacity is only 4,000-ish pounds, and I put humans inside the truck, and I put whatever my kids have in the back seat and stuff in the back of the truck, everything adds up on those coil springs in the back. And my towing capacity, it all turns into a
not fun experience.
Yeah, exponentially worse situation. And if I go up hills, or if I have anything in that trailer, water, batteries, just gear.
Well, because that Discover, the kitchen is all on the front.
Yeah. So if I go through the specs, I mean, the dry weight's 2,750 pounds, but the GVWR is 525 pounds.
No. You switch those.
Yeah. So the dry weight is 2,750 pounds. The tongue weight is 525 pounds.
That's heavy.
Yeah, and usually you can kind of say 10% of your towing capacity is what you want on the tongue. Well, that I'm already over on the tongue weight. So the back end of the truck is just squatting. And it's on coil springs, which makes it ride really nice when I'm not towing or hauling anything.
That's really what your truck is built for. Your truck is built for riding really nice.
It is. It's the minivan of trucks.
And I might add, being inexpensive.
Yeah,
it is meant to be economically priced.
Right.
So half tons that are economically priced probably have a reason.
Right. It's kind of I just want a truck, so I got a truck.
Barely a truck.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Now, I treat it like a truck, which is part of the worry.
That's the problem. So does your truck have a tongue weight listing on what it should be able to carry? Because vehicles have a rating for tongue weight.
I haven't looked. I always just kind of go by the rule of about 10% of your towing capacity. I haven't looked for my actual rating for that on my truck. But
Okay.
I do know that truck squats.
Well, if you have 4,100 pounds of what your truck can haul, and 10% of that is 400,
Right.
and the tongue weight on your trailer is 525.
Right. I'm really asking for a more stressful situation than I want to be doing lots
Right.
of trips with.
Yeah, because really that's where tongue weight comes in. A lot of trailers, like a 3,000 pound trailer, can be towed by a 4,000 pound tow rating vehicle.
Sure.
Right? That can be done.
Yeah.
And especially if you're on flat ground, that works great. But if you want to go through the Appalachian Mountains and fully load your trailer, you just need to know it's gonna be a struggle sometimes. Okay, so you're looking for a new vehicle, right?
Yeah.
All right. What is it that you're looking for?
Well, obviously better towing and cargo carrying capacity. I would like a truck to behave more like a truck.
Okay.
That's one. And something that will handle towing in situations like my family really likes going to Southwest Colorado. And right now I do not want to tow that trailer into higher altitude. And for two reasons. First off, it's the gear ratio isn't going to be fun. And that engine is not going to like the decreased oxygen. It's going to lose power the higher I go.
Does that really make that much of a difference?
It actually does. Yeah.
I only drive in Texas, so I don't understand altitude.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I hadn't been looking at this, if I hadn't been experiencing this situation with the truck, I might have thought, well, it's just going up hills harder.
Right.
Because you're
going up.
But if you're going uphill with less oxygen, then the combustion and the combustion chamber isn't as fantastic.
Combustion-y.
Yeah, boomy.
Well, if you're towing close to capacity and you're going uphill anyway, it's tough, especially if you're going uphill consistently, and that means you're in the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were even to look at the owner's manuals, let's say Ford's owner's manual just recently for I think their 2021 gas-powered trucks, it says in there, for high altitude operation, reduce the gross combined weight by 2% per 1,000 feet or 300 meters, starting at the 1,000 foot or 300 meter elevation point. And most, maybe all major truck manufacturers have something like that in their manuals about dealing with decreased capabilities at higher altitudes.
You know, I've been doing this a long time, and I have never thought about it that way.
Yeah, but you'll start hearing stories of people going, everything was great until I had to go through the mountains, you know, and they'll tell us stories about, I was that guy. I created long lines of going through the mountain passes, everyone waiting for me to chug up the hill and there's no place to pass.
Well, everybody assumes it's tow capacity, that it's tow capacity or a transmission setup, because how your transmission is set up makes a difference as well, right?
Absolutely. And that's part of my equation of what I'm looking for is maybe not the nice, most wonderful, efficient gears for traveling unburdened. I want something that can handle towing with torque, you know?
So it makes a difference, but it says 2% per 1,000 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So,
I mean,
yeah, if you're going up in the Rockies, you're at 7,000 feet probably pretty easily in the mountains.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
you
that's
can
a
certainly
chunk.
get higher, but you can get to 7,000. So
That's a
that's
chunk.
what?
And you take
15% less?
Yeah. And if you take the power that I kind of don't already have with my truck,
It's 14%.
yeah, it's
Yes,
15-ish.
it is.
I'm just making sure.
I was rounding. Sorry.
So if you take the
Look at you doing math.
Yeah.
I am so
7
impressed.
times 2.
So if you take the situation I'm currently in and you take 14% of my power away, I'm not going to have a good time heading up to Colorado.
No.
Yeah. Got it.
You
Got
said
it,
yeah.
got
I
it.
said no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So, diesels.
Yeah.
Is that your thing?
Well, I don't know if it's my thing. I don't know if it's what I'm looking for. It comes with its own set of issues, if you will. People love them because they're very torquey. It's a torque-minded.
Okay. How do you
Torquey.
define torque?
I'm not an engineer. I'm not going to give you the right thing.
The torque,
the gusto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to ask only because I have asked people this question over 20 years, and everybody goes, it's
Google it.
It's like, well, I can't tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah,
but it's how tough it is.
Yeah, it's the go juice.
So it's the ability, in my mind, it's the ability to put the horsepower into action, working action. Okay, so you have all the horsepower. Let's say you have 250 horsepower, but that 250 horsepower doesn't have the grip or what have you throughout the transmission and tires all the way to the ground. It doesn't have the grip to actually efficiently use that power. The torque is that
it's pulling power.
Yeah.
So more torque means it has more strength to pull you forward, which means you go faster and farther.
Or you can get a trailer that isn't in motion. You can overcome that inertia and get something heavy in motion and keep it in motion more easily.
Okay, y'all look up the definition of torque and
sorry.
find a better way to explain it.
I'm not prepared for that.
That wasn't terrible.
Okay, so you want more torque.
Yeah, so diesels would be maybe a solution for more torque and just ultimately having more towing power. They tend to last longer than gasoline engines.
But they cost more.
They cost more initially.
But they sound awesome.
The people are divided on the sound of them.
I love it.
Yeah, it sounds like power.
I think it reminds me of my childhood, though.
Oh.
Well, those were because we had those old Dodge diesel trucks. I mean, they sounded like a broken down train.
I always knew when Mama was home.
Yeah. So, and they also carry a different type of maintenance schedule and all that. So maintenance is different, maybe more expensive. And the fuel right now, fuel for diesels is more expensive. So
but for a while it was cheaper. It was so weird.
Right. It goes back and forth, I guess.
And diesel should be cheaper. The way it's refined and it should be cheaper. But it's not.
Somebody should tell diesel.
Demand. Yeah, somebody
that it's supposed to be cheaper.
I'll call
supposed
Vin
to
right
be
now.
cheaper.
You're called what?
Vin.
I don't know.
The actor, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
The joke was so bad we didn't even get it.
I just need him to take a shower. He always looks so sweaty.
Clint
No, Vin Diesel. I just need him to take a shower.
I was like, really? Come on. I think he looks great.
Oh, no.
So anyway, what options are you considering?
This is where I'm at. I'm still very initial in this. I actually like my truck because it drives so nice. It's been so good for my family.
We hear that all the time here. People walk in and say, I love my little car. What can I tow?
Right.
And when we tell them nothing, they say, but I love my little car.
Yeah. But I'm not that scenario because my truck can tow nothing and I've done it anyways. It just hasn't been pleasant or safe.
Okay, well, both of those things are important, Clint, especially when you have two babies in the back.
Which is why we're talking about this.
Yeah. All right.
This is the what not to do edition.
So Ford, Chevy, Dodge, any preference?
I'm not brand myopic.
Brand myopic?
Yeah, I'm not.
Who would say it that way?
This
Clint?
guy.
Have you met him?
Once?
So I don't really know that I have a dog in the brand fight. I just want something that I feel will adequately do the job.
It's a big word.
And I want it to feel really sure. I want it to feel solid. You know?
You should like interview everybody here. I feel like we have a very good assortment of trucks out there.
Yeah.
And people who have driven and towed with a lot of different ones. You should get your pen and paper and go do some survey work.
Sure. And there's also do I stay in the half ton category in my search? Do I look at the 3/4 tons? Yikes.
Yes.
Because that sounds more expensive and maybe even more expensive than insurance.
But we have always, except for those old work trucks that were Dodge diesels, and they were Dodges back then because they were the only people that made diesels.
Really?
Good old Cummins.
That's where they started, is with Dodge. Dodge work trucks. And so we would buy the work trucks that were totally trashed. We paid $2,000 because we needed a diesel truck to pull trailers.
Yeah.
And this was before Princess Craft. This was previous life, but we drove trashy trucks. I did. Richard probably drove a nice car.
I thought they were cool.
But
they sounded like clack, 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 clack,
yeah,
clack, clack.
Oh no, they were worse than that. Which they would wake the dead. Most of our natural life, we're Ford people. So we bought our first Dodge truck for our personal vehicle a few months ago. And it's a half ton.
But they switched them out. They no longer call them Dodges. It's a Ram.
It's a Ram.
It's a branded Ram.
Whatever.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not a Dodge Ram anymore?
It's just a Ram.
It's a Ram?
It's a Ram.
Is
They're
a Dodge
trying to
still a
separate
thing?
it.
Yeah. Yeah, they make minivans.
And Dodge makes the Ram.
And Chargers.
But
No, they don't.
They make the Charger.
The Ram makes the Ram.
Yeah, Ram makes the Ram. Chrysler makes the Ram.
Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is...
Chrysler Dodge Ram?
Yeah, I think it's Italian.
Are you done? Are you quite done?
Wait.
Okay. So we bought, I did all the homework on this. We bought a few months ago, as you guys know, a half-ton Dodge.
It looks beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I bet it rides good too.
It's
It
so
is
pretty. It looks like
so
a
nice. Yeah.
fancy inside. Anyway, go ahead.
It is the first souped-up thing really we've ever bought.
But have you towed with it yet?
Haven't towed. Yes, we have towed with it. And it tows beautifully. It tows 9,800 pounds.
Okay.
And it's a half ton?
And it's a half-ton.
And it's set up. It's a Super Crew.
It is a Super Crew, yep.
With their
with
Hemi
the
engine?
5.5 foot bed, Hemi engine, but we got the larger transmission. And
373. 39.
391,
Ooh.
3.9.
Yeah, that's for towing.
So the gas mileage drops,
Yes.
right? But it jumped up the towing, and towing was beautiful with it. It did great. It's a gas engine. So I don't know. I think it's all in how that, you can't say a half ton won't do the job or a half ton will do the job.
Right.
There is so many other things that you have to think about. And that's true over any type of vehicle,
Well,
whether it's
yeah.
a minivan or anything else.
And the half-ton category, it's really just a throwback name because that's
Right.
when they could only carry a half-ton. Well, most half-ton pickups, except for mine, can do way more than that old half-ton designation now.
Yes.
Mid-sized trucks are carrying more than a true half-ton.
Yeah. So, and half tons were actually called that for what they could actually carry in payload.
Right.
And payload is different than what you tow.
Yeah, but even still,
But
there's
payloads have changed. So
Yeah.
half of a ton, if a ton is 2,000, half of a ton is 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So half tons can have a payload. I don't know of a half ton with a 1,000-pound payload. They're all
Way
more
more
than
than
that. But they can be as low as about 1,400 pounds. But I've seen them at 3,200. There's some weird oddball things. Most of them are
that's like a regular cab.
1,800 to 2,000
Right,
range. That's
right.
kind of normal. But it changes. It's all over the map. So saying a half-ton truck does or doesn't do the job, you just don't know anymore.
Right. You have to look at all the components and add it up.
So my point is, you could still stick with a half-ton because you do jump up to a different chassis when you go to a 3/4 ton.
Heavy. Yeah.
And that's part of the cost increase. So half-tons could do what you want to do. You don't need a 3/4 ton. You just need the right half-ton.
Yeah. Which is the way I'm leaning. And I guess my big deal is I have in my mind is that trip, hopefully next summer with this trailer at altitude.
Would you consider an SUV?
Yeah, I guess I would.
Well, that doesn't sound like you're working very hard at
That
that.
is not very convincing.
Well, no, it's that I haven't been.
I mean, if I was giving you one, you would take it. That's what that means?
Well,
I'm
Wait,
not.
are you giving away cars?
No. What do I look like, Oprah?
I don't know.
well, let's say this. Matt here at the shop.
I don't look like Oprah, by the way. She's taller than I am.
Oprah's taller than you?
Yes.
You're so short.
So Matt here in the shop 2 years ago, he had a used Suburban, but it was a 3/4 ton Suburban. I considered it
That thing was a beast.
because at the time I was moving a lot of trailers here with my truck. And I was thinking, I mean, I have a family. Suburbans can do things.
It's just like a station wagon,
And-
right?
yeah,
Of
and-
yesteryear.
But that was a 3/4 truck with a Suburban sitting on top of it.
Yep. Yeah. But what else you can't throw bicycles in it quite as easily.
Right.
Can't haul a load of dirt. But I don't know. Think back. How often have you done
Yes,
that?
I can.
Yeah, you could.
Yes,
Lindsay
I
could.
can.
All you
don't know.
need is a couple of trash bags on the bottom. You're good to go.
Well, that kind of brings me to
Trash
how
bags.
I
Yeah, sure. That's a great idea.
that kind of brings me to how I ended up with the truck I have is because before this, I had one of my grandfather's old single cab Ford Rangers with a 4-cylinder engine. It was just for tooling around. But then I had a baby on the way and I liked having a truck. So I got something I could afford that had a back seat that could fit a car seat. And it was going to be fuel efficient because it had a tiny engine.
Yeah.
I was a middle school teacher going to work and
Yeah,
back.
you didn't work at an RV dealership.
Right.
You didn't have a trailer.
Right.
And that was
Yeah.
what, 7 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago?
And at the time, I could just, if I needed a heavier duty truck, well, the ranch is just an hour away. I didn't need it often. So I could just go to the ranch and get the Dodge 3/4 ton diesel 4x4 truck and use it.
So now you need an everyday truck that can tow your trailer easily. So
Yeah.
we are waiting to see what you come up with.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll stay in the half-ton categories. They're sometimes cheaper. They may have a nicer ride because they don't have that beefy chassis underneath, and they tend to fit in driveways a little bit better. You know.
Half tons?
Very true.
Well, they have a better turning radius, probably a shorter wheelbase.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know if I'm going to stick with a gas engine. You know, a naturally aspirated V8 kind of is what I.
Naturally aspirated.
Who even says that?
I don't know. It sounds so weird. I've never heard that, like with the truck. I guess I haven't heard that ever, but
What else is naturally aspirated?
We are.
No, that's true.
yeah, I mean,
We're naturally
If
aspirated.
you're breathing,
some of us are naturally aspirated.
Well, I do
a
have.
lot of hot air.
I must admit, I'm wearing a filter more often than not these days.
That's right. We all are.
I don't know. And then there's the Ford EcoBoost, and everyone's coming out with this Eco turbocharged thing, which gives you a lot of power and a lot of torque, and people really like them.
A lot of trucks are coming out with tow specific trucks too.
Right.
And like, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, or the eco diesels and things like that, or turbocharged. I don't know, and I'll have to look at gear ratios, like you did for your truck, most recent truck purchase.
Makes a huge difference.
So I don't know, not sure what I'll end up with.
Well, I'm excited to see what you pick, but whatever you pick, it needs to be like fire engine red or purple,
My
blue,
daughter would
purple,
love it.
green.
Maybe it needs to have
Oh,
that.
your truck
paint
now is green.
Yeah, it's greenish gray, but you know what? If it's got that kind of sparkly paint that changes color as you
Yes,
drive
please. Yes, please.
Oh, I'm sure that's the cheapest thing out there.
Orange,
by, I'll find it used. I'm probably shopping in the
Pearl.
used market.
They call
anyways.
that pearl.
lime green, so you can have the Princess Craft truck.
Ooh, there you go. Ooh.
I might find a way to get car sick.
Let us know.
I'm excited to see what you get.
You know, maybe I need help from the experts. If they'll just jump over to our community group on Facebook
You know,
and give me some input.
those people know about towing.
I hear.
If you got suggestions for Clint, then join us on Facebook at RV Small Talk Community and give him some suggestions. Tell him what you tow with. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Things to avoid?
Yeah. And remember, I have to fit inside of it too. I'm 6'4". My wife is 6 foot.
We look like we're the same height,
My
but we're not.
5-year-old is as tall as PJ.
Yes. I was
No,
about to say
that's
me.
not. You're not even kidding, though.
My 2-year-old is big. So there's going to be some creature feature issues as well. So I'll probably be looking in the used market, but who knows? Maybe even might consider something else. But give me your thoughts, your ideas online. Help a man out.
Clint needs your help.
Maybe he needs your tow vehicle.
Oh yeah.
You selling a truck? There we
Are
go.
you selling a truck? Give us the specs. We'll evaluate.
Let's make a deal.
So don't forget to get into your podcast app like Apple Podcasts. And if you enjoy this podcast, leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It just takes a second, and it really, really helps us to become visible to other listeners and spread the word.
Also, our show notes can be found at rvsmalltalk.com, and we're on Facebook as RV Small Talk Community Group. Connect with us there, share your adventures, questions, tips, and trips. We want to see those photos and anything that just catches your eye and stands out for you. Share them there. We can't wait to see them.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week, right?
Next week it is. Thanks, everybody.